Thoroughly enjoyed my time in Malin Head. Met some wonderful people in this stunning part of the world. It was time to move on. With the winds gone, decided to forget heading back to Belfast for an early ferry. If Malin Head was anything to go by, I'm guessing County Donegal and the wild Atlantic way has much more to offer. I'm heading to Buncrana, which isn't very far away, just less than an hour. Part of the fun of these trips is meeting the locals. I was about to meet two more. I met these two beauties on the way out. I don't think they're too sure about me, to be honest. They only wanted to stroke 'em. The ride out started with a steady climb on roads I'm guessing don't get much use. The views despite the weather were still amazing. This is proper Ireland, away from the tourist traps. The adventure was well underway now and I am absolutely loving it. So the plan today was see what the weather was like, and as you can see, it's wet. So I decided I would have a short ride to Buncrana from Malin Head, which is probably about 45 minutes. But as I set off, going down the absolutely amazing wild Atlantic way, I've decided to brave the weather. It's only a bit of rain. Brave the weather and take the long way around. And I'm currently at the moment in, just bear with me a second, Carndonna. Stood at the Carndonna crosses, as you can see there. Come to the junction that I need to take for Buncrana. I don't want the ride to stop, to be honest. I want it to carry on. It's something quite appealing to having the Atlantic to your right hand side as you're riding. It's really nice. So I'm going to ignore that turn off. I'm going to head towards Ballyliffin and take the long way around and see what's down there, see if I can find anything else. Within 10 minutes of leaving Carndonna, I had picked up a sign that was of interest. The sign was directing me to the Doagh Famine Village, a historical tourist attraction, so I thought I would check it out, seeing as it was only 5 kilometres away, and I wasn't in any particular rush to be anywhere else.
That's the beauty of these trips. Do what you want, when you want, and make it up as you go along.
So my decision to take the longer route has paid off. As I was going along, I saw a sign for the Doagh Famine Village, which is something that I was recommended to visit by some of the guys I was chatting to in the pub in Malin Head last night, and it certainly paid off. Just take a look at that for a view. That's a stunning place. Somewhere I wouldn't have seen if it had been a soft arse and carried on my short route. Anyway, I'm going to go and have a look around the famine village now, see what that's all about.
As I entered the reception, I was shown once more the fantastic hospitality of the Irish people. I was absolutely soaked, and the lady behind the counter was quite insistent on taking my coat and hanging it on a radiator to dry whilst I took the tour. The Doagh Famine Village is a collection of traditional Irish houses that have been transformed into a museum. The museum illustrates typical Irish living from the mid-19th century times right up to the present day. As we were shown around the exhibit, it was explained to us how families and communities lived on the edge generation after generation, adapting and surviving as the environment and society around the local area changed over the years. A combination of informative storytelling and life-size exhibits provides an informative, thought-provoking, and at times humorous look at Irish life. The tour guide was superb. He had the group hanging on his every word, and he was also very amusing. Amongst the exhibits there was original thatched Irish cottages, which was inhabited as recently as the 1980s, by our tour guide nonetheless, an eviction scene, an orange hall, Republican safe house, and an Irish wake house, amongst others. It was all pretty interesting stuff. After a couple of interesting hours, it was time to hit the road again. Buncrana, here I come.
I am now in Buncrana. The wind from yesterday has been replaced by rain. It's been on and off all day. I've managed to avoid any mega downpours, to be honest, but I have got pretty soaked today. The plan was I wasn't gonna go too far in case the weather got really bad. So it's probably been a 45-minute journey from Malin Head, but as I set off I realised that the ride was that enjoyable, that nice, that I took a bit of a detour really, and 45 minutes turned into 3 hours. I also called in at the Famine Village. That was pretty interesting really. I spent an hour or so over there. There's some lovely beaches as well over the road from there, so it's, you know, it's well worth paying a visit if you ever get the chance. A lovely place, really nice. When I was in there, I realised that I'd left my wash bag at the White Cross B&B back in Malin Head. I was going to have to go back for it, or the other option was maybe just leave it there and get new bits and bobs at my next destination. But no, the absolute legend Mary that runs the B&B up at Malin Head texted me and told me that she'd found my wash bag and absolutely refused my offers to come back and pick it up, and she actually come and met me here and dropped it off for me. You know, you can't ask for any more than that really. I'm really appreciative of Mary's kindness for doing that as well. The people here have been fantastic, Mary being a perfect example. There was a couple of farmers that chased me up a track yesterday. I was following the sat-nav to Malin Head, and it took me up this track. It was tarmac at first, and then it became you know, just a gravel track. As I went past the farmers, they waved, I waved back. I carried on up the track. It got worse and worse. I thought, shouldn't really be going up here, until a locked gate, stopped me. As I stopped, there was a car pulled up at the side of me. Out jumped two old boys. It was the farmers. They wanted to know everything about me, what CC my bike was, where I was from, what football team I supported. They had me there for ages, and then they gave me directions and sent me on the way. Absolutely cracking blokes, and you know, it's meeting people like that that makes these trips all the more enjoyable. Anyway, I'm going to go out for some food now. I'm pretty hungry. I've not eaten since breakfast this morning. Had a chocolate bar earlier, that's about it. So I'm going to go and find somewhere to have something to eat, and might sample 1 or 2 more Guinness.